So it's time for the spring home improvement checklist. Spring is here, my friends, and if your house has been hibernating all winter, guess what? It's time to wake it up. Today we're running through the spring home improvement checklist, inside and out. For each item, we'll tell you if it's a solid do-it-yourself project or something you're better off calling a pro for, which we like to say if you're going to hire it done. So grab a notepad because this one is jam-packed with information. All right, let's start on the outside of your house. Let's go right to the roof and gutters. I want you to inspect your roof. Now, are you going to get up on a ladder and climb up there? Two-story house? I think not. But let's use technology. Walk to the street. I'm assuming you have a smartphone. Take your smartphone, put your camera on, and zoom in on your roof. You'll have enough clarity to see if there's curling shingles, missing shingles, perhaps holes in your roof, and items that could cause the roof to leak. That's important, okay? Also, while you're there, check your gutters and check your downspouts. Because if the gutters are full of leaves from the fall, as soon as the rainy season starts, which we're in the middle of right now, that could all back up. And if that backs up into your roof and into your fascia, it can cause water damage in your home. And that becomes very costly. Also, if you do get on the roof, I will tell you to check your flashing around the chimneys, around vents, perhaps even around skylights. Look for gaps and any kind of dry or cracked caulking because water will migrate into there, especially from this past winter we've had, and it'll slowly pull it apart and then make its way into your house. And again, it causes a ton of damage. So you must check this. That's why this exterior checklist is so important. Now that you've checked out your roof, your gutters, and your downspouts, walk around your house the complete perimeter. Stay about 10, 15 feet away and look at the ground all the way to the roof line. And it's your siding, your exterior walls, okay? And the reason why I'm asking you to do this is because you got to look for grime, debris, winter leftover stuff. So I'm going to tell you to power wash your siding, your brick, and your stone on the outside of your house. But be careful of the water pressure. The whole point of the power washing is to remove any grime or debris that's left over from the past season. Look for cracks, holes, or peeling paint. Touch up the small areas yourself if you want to, but bigger jobs lead to bigger paint situations and may call for a pro. Check the caulking around the windows, around doors, and where the siding meets the trim. Re-caulk where it's cracked or missing. Now, that's an easy do-it-yourself project. However, you can't caulk over caulk. Remember that, folks. So if you need a professional, hire a handyman or a professional painter. Sealing the exterior of your house not only makes the house last longer, but it's also energy efficient. The next thing I want you to do on the outside of your house is check your foundation, okay? Walk the perimeter again, looking at the foundation where it touches the ground, okay? And look for cracks, look for settling, look for water staining, look for water puddling around the outside because small hairline cracks are normal. However, if they freeze and start to expand, that's when you have the first sign of big trouble in your house, okay? If the cracks are wider than 1/8 of an inch and up to 1/4 of an inch, you need to call a structural engineer. Now, also as you walk around the foundation, make sure the soil has what we call positive drainage. And positive drainage means that it drains away and slopes away from the house. So over 10-foot length from the wall to the 10 feet away from the house, the grade should go 6 inches down. So over 10 feet, 6 inches. That's the rule of thumb that you should use. Also on the outside of your house, I want you to inspect the weather stripping and all the seals around windows and doors, okay? Replace what's worn out. That's a do-it-yourself project if you're handy. If not, you can always hire a pro to get that done. Clean your window screens. You know, the window screens, believe it or not, have cobwebs, dirt, debris, all that gets built up from the wintertime. So a light brushing and a low volume of water will clean the screens off your windows and give you a better view. Now, if you have concrete around your house. Check your concrete for cracks in the patios or in the walkways. Fill the small ones with concrete patch, but hire a pro if you have bigger cracked slabs or you need to replace a slab or have them look at it for possibly a complete replacement. If you have a deck or a patio, now's the time to power wash it, clean it, and then restain it. Walk around your deck, look for loose rotted boards, look for boards that are cupping. You could replace those individually, or you could get a whole new deck. Obviously, based on budget, you just need to know what you're going to do. However, if you're just going to replace a few boards, it's probably smart to also power wash your deck to open the pores of the wood and then put a solid penetrating oil finish on your deck. Next item up is your complete yard and all the landscaping. Rake and dethatch your lawn. That's a do-it-yourself project, no problem. And when you rake your lawn and when you dethatch it, you're pulling out the dead grass, you're opening up the aeration of it, and you're allowing the newer grass to reproduce and grow. If you have any bare patches, you need to overseed them. And what do I mean by overseeding them? It's applying your spring fertilizer and getting to the garden center early. That's the best point, because once the weather changes, getting stuff for your lawn is going to be difficult because people buy it in bulk and there's always a shortage this time of year. So get there early. Now, the other items are trim and cut back any dead branches from the trees and shrubs that are close to your house. Remember, when the wind blows, it's slow, the tree branches can slowly go back and forth. And if they're on the edge of your house and they're rubbing against the fascia, they're rubbing against the wood or the roof, it's like somebody taking sandpaper and slowly rubbing it. Over time, that's going to wear it away. So cut away any dead branches away from your house. Now, even if there's new branches growing towards your house, you should cut those as well. And if you need a professional, there are plenty of professionals available, arborists, that will come and tell you when to cut the branches properly. If your home has an automatic sprinkler system, now's the time to check your irrigation. Turn it on, make sure that each head is working, adjust them properly, and set your timer for the proper watering. I prefer that you water your lawn at night, not during the day. There are two schools of thought for watering your lawn during the day and watering your lawn overnight. I prefer the overnight method. Sometimes during the day when it's hot and you're watering the lawn, a lot of the water dissipates and doesn't absorb properly into the ground. And you want the roots of the grass and the rest of your plants to grow down and not out. And by watering properly, that will allow that to happen. If you like to put mulch around your house, now's the time to edge all the beds and refresh your mulch. Now, I will say this. For the last many years, we've been saying add mulch, add mulch, add mulch, right? Well, over 3, 4, 5 years of mulch, even though it composts a little bit, you still have a buildup of it. And sometimes that mulch will build up higher than your foundation, which can give your house the risk of water damage. So you might need to scrape the mulch away, lower it a few inches, and then put back brand new mulch. And if the old mulch you scraped away has some consistency to it, you can actually mix that in with your newer mulch. Maybe you'll buy less this year, but you do need to rake the mulch away from the house and lower the level if you've gone with mulch every year for the last several years. It's a good little tip so you know. If you have a fence around your house, you want to inspect your fencing, especially if it's a wood one or even chain link. But the posts sometimes lean. Get your posts straight. And if you have to put wedges in to straighten them out, you can do that as well. But if you see rot, that's when you call a fence company and have them replace the posts. Another item in the exterior house is your air conditioning. Your condensing unit is the outside piece for your heating and cooling that has a fan in it. You see it. We always tell homeowners, give yourself a 3-foot ring of safety. That's what I call it. So from the center of the air conditioner, 3 feet out, you should have all the bushes, all the debris away from it so that air flows properly. Because what happens is an air conditioner sucks the air through the side and then blows it straight up. And the air, when it comes through the side, goes through the cooling fins and it blows the heat out of the fins, so then it goes back into the house much cooler. That's how air conditioning works. There's a whole science to it. We'll have it on another podcast, and you'll learn a lot about how to cool your house. The other thing is If your air conditioning's not level, it looks a little old or whatever, now is the best time to schedule an air conditioning tune-up. Get a heating and cooling company out to your house. Have them inspect it. Have them change the air filters inside and get everything going. That, my friends, is the best preventative maintenance you could do for your house. The last thing you want to do around your house is walk your driveway and any of the other walkways, okay? If you have asphalt, look for bird baths, look for it to be sealed. Obviously, you want to seal that end of the year, but however, depending on the year and age of your asphalt drive is when you're going to address it. But I will say this, if it's cracking, you could get some asphalt repair and caulk the crack. That's probably the best way to prevent water from getting through and underwashing out any debris underneath it, which will then cause it to collapse. That's one of the ways you need to prevent and maintain your asphalt. If you have any brick pavers last a lifetime. However, it's the base and the sand that's in between each paver that ends up washing away and doing that. So what I suggest people do is, if your big pavers are level, that's a great start. But if they're not, you need to take them out and level the base underneath, reinstall them, and then I would suggest you use what we call polymeric sand. Polymeric sand is a sand that goes in between each of the pavers. However, it has a little bit of cementitious additives that makes it like cement and will harden when moisture gets in there, which is then prevents it from shifting and washing out underneath. So power wash your brick pavers, re-level them, and then add polymeric sand, which is very easy to do. And you'll have brick pavers that look brand new and it'll last you a lifetime. So that's it for the exterior checklist. Also check out on the Hire Done channel the interior checklist for the spring as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and we'll see you next week. What you don't know can hurt you. HireItDone.com